Hi, gang. It's Patrick.
And Adam.
Coming up on today's episode, we dive into some listener feedback and answer a question from one of our Tweedledees. We cover the latest Disney news, and I recap my latest trip to Disney for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Adam, January Jones Hummel.
I'm a disgruntled housewife. In the 50s and 60s. I smoke and sometimes I slap my children.
Watch out for that bomb shelter. That was a real doozy of an episode, I'll tell you what.
I totally forgot about that episode. Patrick Kosicki.
Oh, inventive.
Oh, it's a sister-sister situation.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Was that on ABC?
Double the pleasure, double the fun.
Sister?
I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
We'll sorry about it later.
It's entirely appropriate to bring it up on a Disney podcast regardless. I guess if it was on ABC.
Tia and Tamara.
Yeah.
Which one are you? Tamara.
I'm Tatanka.
Oh. Their Samoan cousin.
I went full Dances with Wolves there for a second. I don't know what.
We're all over the map this morning.
Patrick, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back from Walt Disney World.
Thank you extremely much.
Oh.
It's not great to be back, I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh, so much snow and cold.
I landed and I was like, what the f***?
Yeah, it's intense out there right now. It's Hoff.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Although I have to say, in Disney World, it was extremely hot, unseasonably hot.
I know. I kept seeing people's Instagram posts from the various races over Marathon Weekend, and everybody was looking real sweaty,
just drenched. It was like, was it raining? No.
Yeah,
that's sweat, my friend.
Climate change isn't real.
Not in Disney World.
Not real. Well, welcome back. We're so happy to have you back, and I'm so excited to hear all about not only your half marathon experience, but your trip overall later on in the episode.
It was a wonderful trip. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you what, one exciting thing that happened while I was there is the Explore the World travel podcast with Matt Long dropped, in which I was interviewed for my experiences with Run Disney.
I listened to it.
You did?
Yes, you sound very knowledgeable and very delightful.
Oh, thank you so much.
I wish you would bring some of that energy to our podcast.
I was going to say, I lied the entire time. I have no idea what I'm talking about. That was episode 45, if you are a listener of Explore the World with Matt Long, and you should be a listener because he's fantastic.
And if you are considering doing a Run Disney event, I highly encourage you to check out that episode because Patrick drops some truths about the experience and what it's like and kind of how to introduce yourself to the Run Disney community.
Oh, thanks for saying that. I always feel like a fraud when I'm on
Why?
Other podcasts being interviewed, especially about running, because like I do run and I do the Run Disney events, but there are so many people out there who have been doing the run since they started and are so knowledgeable and so expert level at what they do with running that I'm like, I've done a couple half marathons. Look at me.
Yeah, Matt should really reach out to those people.
He should. I don't know what he's thinking.
No, it's important that he has people who are at your level on.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dig. It's not meant to sound like a dig.
Oh, very dare you.
Because there's always so many people who are listening to the episodes who are at your level, right? Or who are considering starting running.
For sure.
Or signing up for a Run Disney event. So your experience is just as valid as an expert runner's.
Oh, that was the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Yeah. Literally. Let's just stop now.
Okay. Well, Patrick, there's a ton of exciting events going on at Disney parks from coast to coast right now. We've got the opening of the Epcot International Festival of the Arts in Walt Disney World.
I'm so upset I'm not there right now. Have you seen the new Figment ears that came out?
I have.
Oh my gosh.
I like that they're embracing a non-bow between the ears.
Yes, they have slightly started to steer away from using bows on every single ear.
Yeah, kind of more gender neutral.
I'm into
situation.
it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I need those. I need to get those.
Disney, I encourage you to continue to travel down this lane of non-bows but interesting things between the ears.
I'll Put something interesting between your ears.
There's nothing interesting between my ears. Trust me, it's just dead space there.
Oh, I know.
We also need to wish a happy opening to Rise of the Resistance in Disneyland.
You did it.
It finally opened there.
Good job, California. You finally caught up.
I saw the opening day photos.
You did.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Was it a mess?
Wow.
Were people's heels stuck in the tar?
It was quite a crowd there opening day.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. How are they managing out there? Has there been any talk about time management or...
I haven't heard of any issues with the ride itself,
Yeah.
but I did hear that like on the opening day, or maybe it was the second day it was open, the boarding passes ran out in 45 seconds.
I fully believe that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's popular out there.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
popular.
I imagine they probably didn't release the amount that they could have released just to like make sure that if they have some breakdowns that they
Right.
manage people's expectations.
Right.
But man alive.
I've also heard, much like the opening day of Disneyland, on the opening day of Rise of the Resistance, people were creating fake boarding passes
What?
and getting on. I don't know how or why or how it all worked out, but
Maybe taking a picture of someone else's or something?
maybe. Yeah.
But it's attached. Oh, yeah, I guess it's not attached to your Magic Band because they don't have them out there.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do that, people.
Don't do that. Or at least tell us how to do it.
Send them to us, please.
Thank you. We also need to wish a happy opening to Lunar New Year 2020 at DCA.
Happy Lunar New Year.
I'd love to experience that festival sometime.
All of the merch looks really beautiful.
Yeah, and have you seen Mickey and Minnie's new outfits?
Mm-hmm.
So cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
So all that's going on, how does one choose what to do?
Throw a dart
That's what I was just going to say. Throw a dart
at someone.
at someone.
And wow, this is going to be a real treat of an episode. Adam is stoned out of his mind. Hashtag not kidding. Well, Adam, I've got some more exciting news for you if you would put down the pot.
Oh. There's no pot.
Okay.
First of all, if there's any pot, it's because I'm gardening. Okay? And I'm not a gardener. So there's no pot.
Why is your thumb so green then? So many questions. Well, we have 3 new Patreon members to welcome into the family, Adam.
3?
3 of them.
Are they a throuple?
They might be someday
Okay.
when we start our Patreon dating app.
I'm telling you, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
I think it's a terrible idea,
Oh.
which is why we should do it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have to welcome to the Patreon family Jason, Ashley, and Trina.
Welcome, Jason, Ashley, and Trina.
Thank you so much for your literal investment in our little podcast here.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we have a Patreon page in which, for as little as $1 reoccurring a month, you can join our Patreon family, which gets you access to exclusive GDTD raw and uncut. That was disturbing. Episodes was the end of that sentence. And we are constantly trying to find new ways to thank you. So be on the lookout this year for perhaps some videos, clothing optional videos,
No.
maybe some
No.
nudes,
No.
maybe some
Nope.
pictures,
I guess pictures, but
some photographs of drawings.
What?
Who knows? You will know if you join our Patreon page, though.
Wow, I like that cliffhanger you just created. They have no idea.
How can people join Patreon, Adam?
They can visit our website at gaysdothed.com. And when you visit the website, you'll notice there's a little tab at the top of the screen that says donate. And you can click on that button and it will take you to our Patreon page.
That was so well said.
Was it?
No.
I've never done it before, so I was like grasping at straws.
I never asked you to before.
I know.
I was like, let's throw him a little curveball here today.
Keeping things fresh in 2020.
Keeping it fresh. So thank you so much, Jason, Ashley, and Trina, and to all of our Patreon members.
Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Patrick, we have some listener feedback from last week's episode.
Sensible.
In last week's episode, we listed our Fab 5 attractions, experiences, films, and shows coming to the parks in 2020.
Ooh.
Well, I guess the shows and the films wouldn't be coming to the parks, would they?
Who can say? There's a movie theater in Disney Springs.
You're right, and I guess there's films in Epcot, too.
And people have TVs on their phones now.
We are really analyzing this. I'm glad I asked that question.
We needed to make it fit, so we're always correct.
First up, we have Rosaline, who wrote in from Instagram at pin to my Lou. Rosaline says, number 5, Mulan. She's looking forward to the film Mulan.
You're correct.
Who isn't, by the way?
If you aren't, then get out of my life.
I've only heard people are excited for that movie. Well, that's not true. I guess some people are upset that the original music from the animated film isn't in the movie, but...
Those people are wrong.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 4. Number 4, Beauty and the Beast at Tokyo Disneyland. Now, this is interesting, Rosaline, because you brought up an international park, which you don't normally talk about, but you're absolutely correct in this regard.
Someday we'll have to branch out.
I think we need to visit the parks first, and then we can include them into the podcast.
That's exactly right. Also, we are America first here on Gays Do the Tea.
Are we?
That was the worst thing I've ever said, and I absolutely don't mean it.
Oh, Patrick.
We're the worst.
Number 3, Rosaline is looking forward to Avengers Campus at DCA.
Again, correct.
Number 2, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yas.
And her number 1 choice for the thing she's most looking forward to in 2020 is The Mandalorian Season 2.
Ooh, good call.
Did you consider this for your list, Patrick?
I didn't, because I don't actually know when Season 2 will come out, so who can say?
Fall. That's all I know is fall.
Fall 2020.
Yep.
Moving on, we have Rodri writing in from Instagram at Rod Meets World. Rodri's number 5 is Magic Happens Parade.
Yes, magic happens.
That's going to be absolutely stunning.
Yes.
I can't wait for that one. Number 4 on Rodri's list is Mulan.
Yes, Mulan.
Number 3, Onward.
Yes, Onward.
We have a lot to get through, Adam. Number 2 on Rodri's list is Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland.
Rise of the Resistance West.
You're a mess today. And number 1 on Rodri's list is Avengers Campus.
Excellent choices, Rodri.
Perfect choices.
Next up, we have Beth, who you can find on Instagram at Beth Wileman. Beth is in the UK. I don't know why I needed to point that out, but I just think it's cool.
Beth is much better.
Oh, bag of chips.
Bag of chips.
My top 5 list for 2020. Number 1, staying at the Coronado Springs Resort. I have stayed here before in 2016. However, I am super excited to see the new renovations.
You're going to love it. It's stunning.
They did such an incredible job with it.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park.
Number 2, we have dinner reservations at Be Our Guest. Super, super excited.
You should be.
Number 3, excited to ride Flight of Passage. This is my absolute favorite ride. She spells favorite with a U.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, because she's from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
She just hopes that the line is not too long.
Well,
it will be.
Yeah, sorry to tell you.
Number 4, she's excited for Rise of the Resistance. She's a big Star Wars fan, so it will be so cool for her.
Get there early, my friend.
And number 5, this is the biggest one of all for her, going to Walt Disney World for 2 weeks.
What?
Eating all the delicious treats and drink, the glorious weather, and being able to fully immerse ourselves in the whole Disney experience. Disney is my and my partner's favorite, again, with a U, favorite holiday, and we love going.
I love that. Have such an amazing time. Take pictures.
Yes.
Send them to us.
Yeah.
And let us know about your trip.
And let us know how you really feel about the UK pavilion in Epcot. Accurate? Not accurate? How's the fish and chips there?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm going to go not accurate, but you never know. Moving on, we have Trevor writing in from Instagram on Trevor Rolleg. He says number 5 is Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland, only this low because it opened today. So he must have just written in.
Yes.
Number 4 for Trevor is The Magic Happens Parade. Number 3, Disney Pixar's Onward. Love the modern urban fantasy genre. Number 2 is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And number 1 is the various Disneyland After Dark events happening this year. I already have my outfit for 80s night all ready to go.
I love that.
Send us pictures of that too.
I'm hoping it's like an homage to 80s fitness videos because that would be fabulous.
A headband, wristbands, and ankle bands.
And just a super tight bodysuit.
Yes. Do you need a minute, Adam?
High cut on the thigh. You know those kind of like high cut Jane Fonda workout videos?
It makes an uncomfortable V.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Side note.
Oh, great. Side ponytail.
My mom used to have an exercise video growing up that was sponsored by Tampax.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that weird?
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, everyone needs them.
Here's an awkward segue. Eric.
Oh, dear.
Who you can find on Instagram and Twitter at Fat Emo Kid, and that's Fat PHAT.
Ooh, Eric also sponsors Tampax.
Eric sent us an email.
Okay.
And this is comprehensive, and I love it. Eric says, Bright Suns Hoochies.
Strong start, Eric.
Longtime listener, first-time emailer. I absolutely love listening to you two while I'm balls deep in an Excel pivot table.
Oh, that sounds uncomfortable.
It makes my day much more magical.
Fantastic.
I've been a Disneyland pass hole for a while, and 2020 is shaping up to be the most awesome year ever. Here's my Fab 5 for 2020.
Buckle up, folks. Eric's on a roll here.
He's auditioning to be on the podcast.
Apparently.
Number 5, Indiana Jones Adventure reopens after refurbishment. I'm excited for this refurb because half of the ride no longer functions correctly. There's like a full 45 to 50 seconds. You just sit in the dark with the motor running. Nothing magical about that.
It does feel like it's that long. It's only about 4 seconds, but...
Obviously, Patrick and I are both recent riders of this attraction, and there is that moment where you're like, is this just supposed to be like this?
I think there's supposed to be a ghost that appears or something.
There was one time a ghost did appear for me.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen it since.
Are you sure it was on the ride, though? Do you see it now?
Yep. Yep. Number 4, Snow White reopens after refurbishment. If you're not paying attention to the ride's story, everyone explodes in the end due to a lightning strike. Spoiler alert, Eric. You got to warn everybody before you ruin an ending like that.
It does look like that, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. This refurb will correct the ending to make it more happy and less massacre-ish.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that massacre at the end, though.
Number 3, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opening. It's about damn time. With the language, Eric.
Eric, clean it up.
It's about damn time Mickey and Minnie get their own ride. Also, Toontown in Disneyland is about to become popular again. I always forget about this section of the park. It's like pretty ghetto and run down.
Oh, Eric.
With this new ride, this land should see some new paint, hopefully.
I love Toontown.
I do too, but he's right. It's kind of bleached out right from the sun. You notice that it's not really as intense as you think it's going to be.
Yeah, it needs to be a little bit more vibrant.
Yes. Number 2, Avengers Campus opening. I cannot wait for this new section of DCA to open. Not only do we get new rides and more guys in tights with capes,
yes,
but we also get a new micro brewery. Stop hating on beer with your fancy cocktail having donkey butts.
What?
Yeah, that was...
Was that directed at me?
I feel attacked. Do you feel attacked?
I feel very attacked right now.
But Patrick, you actually like beer.
I do, not in mass quantities, but I enjoy a beer here and there.
Yeah, I just don't care for beer.
Fair enough.
Or if it's like mixed with sangria, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Shell's sangria beer.
I will have your beer while you go get me a churro.
That's fantastic.
You're welcome.
And number 1 for Eric is Rise of the Resistance West opening. So excited to be put into a story where I'm part of the action and not just viewing it. That's a really, really good point.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely immersed. Like when you're on Rise of the Resistance and you look around, you're not seeing a show building ceiling. You're seeing the ceiling of the Star Destroyer, right? That's really fantastic.
Yes.
Eric goes on to say, this kind of immersion is what I'm looking for. Also, charge some crystals, light some candles, send your positive vibes my way as I take a sick day and try to get a boarding pass on the 17th. I may or may not pee my pants.
Well, it's past the 17th. Did he pee his pants?
He might still be in Disneyland waiting.
Peeing his pants.
To board.
Okay.
Yeah.
They won't let you on, Eric, if you pee your pants before the ride.
Eric, please write in and let us know if you were able to experience the attraction on opening day.
And if you had to purchase a new pair of pants.
And that.
That's what I want to know.
He could borrow Trevor's 1980s workout gear.
There it is.
Yeah.
Synergy.
That would be less embarrassing than wearing pee pants around the park.
You've thought this through.
I have.
You have escape plans, don't you?
I want to do it. I want to wear 80s workout gear in the parks.
You can. No one's stopping you, Adam.
You're right.
Well, thank you for all of those lovely, lovely Fab 5 lists, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Well, before we move on to a listener question, Adam, let's go through some anniversaries.
Yes.
Well, just one, actually.
Oh, it's still that time of year.
It is still that time of year.
Okay, what's the one anniversary for this week?
This week's anniversary is 59 years old.
Okay.
Released on January 25th, 1961.
Okay.
It's about to have another fun moment later this year.
Oh, what?
101 Dalmatians. I'm referring to the movie Cruella that's going to happen.
Is that coming out this year?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Should we redo our Fab Five lists? I hope it's coming out this year. It's been a long time in the making.
I feel pretty secure in my Fab Five list that I don't need to add this. Although, I mean, I love Emma Stone.
Yeah.
So it could be amazing.
I feel pretty insecure around you right now that you don't consider 101 Dalmatians.
I love 101 Dalmatians.
Okay, well, that's not what it sounded like.
I like how dark it is.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's kind of grainy, isn't it? Like it's kind of like gritty.
It is, yeah, you're right.
And Cruella, I mean, come on.
She's the best.
She is the best. She's a fabulous meet and greet in the parks if you get the chance.
One of, if not the best meet and greet, I think.
Yeah, I'm not normally one for face actors playing characters, but man, when we met her for Gay Days in Disneyland,
It was the best.
the one we met was incredible.
Absolutely incredible. So happy anniversary, 101 Dalmatians.
Happy anniversary, pups. Puppy play.
Okay.
That's a thing.
Yep. Speaking of,
Speaking of puppy play, we have a listener question.
that's a weird segue.
Didn't work.
Okay.
Aaron, who you can find on Instagram at aaron.didit.
What did you do?
What did you do, Aaron? Has a question for us. Now, you may recall, listeners, that Aaron wrote in a couple weeks ago. He's heading to Disneyland and DCA for the first time as an adult. And so he was looking for suggestions for things to do while visiting.
Yes.
And we gave him some suggestions, and actually some Tweedledees also wrote in, and we sent him their messages too. So thank you so much to everyone who sent us messages for Aaron's trip.
We're such a good friend.
We're such a good friend. We're probably Aaron's best friend that he's never met.
It seems clear.
Yeah. But Aaron has a new question for us. Aaron asks, what's your list of best places to eat Sunday brunch at DCA?
Ooh, that's very specific.
I don't know if we have a ton of things to tell you, Aaron, unfortunately. There's options, but I don't know if they're great brunch options.
Yeah.
So my first suggestion would be Flo's V8 Cafe, but it's quick service, but it's really fun.
Oh, okay.
But it's not going to be like fancy Sunday brunch, right?
Sure.
It's just going to be like brunch food.
With motor oil.
With motor oil for gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to digest.
But it'll keep you running.
In one way, for sure.
Yeah. Or out one way, I guess. The other suggestion is we've already sent you to Lamplight Lounge, but they do have a specific brunch menu. What we're not clear on is if that brunch menu is every day of the week or if it's just on Friday or just on Saturday.
Right.
Who can say? I'm sure someone knows. One of our California Tweedledees, please let us know if Lamplight Lounge offers brunch every day of the week.
Another option might be Carthay Circle,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know if that's going to be like brunch, or if it's just going to be lunch options because it opens, I think, at 11:30.
And they are going through a refurb pretty soon.
you're
so
right.
who knows if it's going to be open at that time.
You're right.
We're a mess today with DCA, aren't we?
How about this, Aaron? Does it have to be at DCA? What if it's in Disneyland?
Yeah, do you have a park hopper? If so, I really love the Blue Bayou. They don't have a brunch menu, but their food is southern, which always feels brunchy to me.
Yeah, you could actually just grab some beignets and mix them into your meal, and that way you get sweet and savory.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Chicken and waffle beignet style.
Oh my gosh, Patrick. That sounds amazing.
Well, if they ever open an actual Tiana's restaurant, maybe they should serve that.
Tiana's place.
I'm serving chicken and beignets. Realness.
Aaron, I'm sorry, we don't have great answers for you, unfortunately. But someone out on the West Coast is going to know.
Yes.
And they're going to point you in the right direction. So Tweedledees out on the West Coast, please reach out to us or reach out directly to Aaron on Instagram at aaron.didit.
Well, Adam, let's keep the vague information going with the news. What do you think?
I like our non-committal attitude today. Like,
Yeah.
That's good enough.
This may or may not happen. You decide. A few weeks ago in the news, Adam, you reported on a monthly limited edition Minnie Mouse collectible series coming to Disney.
The January collection just came out.
I know.
It looks fantastic.
I may have spent some money today.
Patrick.
You can't stop me.
What did you get me?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
So clearly, Mickey Mouse got wind of this. And just like a heterosexual man, he decided to come out with his own limited edition series. And just like a hetero man, it's not as well thought out or as well put together, and it's kind of confusing.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you so much.
That was good.
So each month this year, in celebration of the Year of the Mouse, which is not a thing, it's the Year of the Rat. But okay. A new Mickey Mouse plush will be released. This month's plush is a golden Mickey. Each plush is 16 inches in size and comes with a certificate of authenticity. A new Mickey plush will be released on the first Thursday of each month, but you can't get them on the Shop Disney website. Who can say why? To purchase, you will need to head over to amazon.com/Disney. Who can say why? D23 Gold members will have early access to view and purchase each month's plush by logging into their D23 account and then redirecting over to Amazon. Who can say why? What's happening, Disney? Why did you do this?
Oh, why?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. To learn more about this limited edition series, please find out and tell me. Or head on over to d23.com or to amazon.com/Disney.
I have two things to say, Patrick. Number one, 16 inches? Really, Mickey? I don't know.
Really? That's one of the things you have to say about it?
Yep. My second thing to say, Patrick, is how dare he step on Minnie's yellow heels?
I mean,
by coming out with a collection of his own.
Yeah.
You know what? It is the year of the rat, and Mickey is that rat.
Well said. Well said. Well, I feel like Minnie Mouse got wind of Mickey Mouse's extension into her territory, and she was like, not on Shop Disney, Mickey. Not on Shop Disney.
Last Monday, January 13th, the 2020 Academy Awards nominations were announced. The Walt Disney Company's portfolio of brands received a total of 23 nominations in 15 categories.
That's because they own all of the movies now.
That's exactly right. On the heels of its win for Best Animated Feature at the Critics' Choice Awards, Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 4 was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film. However, Frozen 2 did not receive a nomination for Best Animated Feature Film.
What on earth are they thinking?
I felt sad about that.
I am sad about that still.
I can only imagine how the animators and directors feel.
Were we just simply wrong about this movie?
I don't think so. A lot of people really loved it.
Okay.
Maybe we were wrong. No, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Both films did receive nominations for Best Original Song. Toy Story was nominated for I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away by Disney legend Randy Newman, which I want played at my funeral, Patrick.
Oh, my goodness.
And Frozen 2 was nominated for Into the Unknown by Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez. And if Idina Menzel doesn't perform it, followed by a botched introduction by John Travolta, the producers of the awards will be missing out on Comedy Gold.
I'm going to make a guess here, though.
Yeah, what?
I think she's going to bow out and let Panic at the Disco do it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Or they'll
really
do
cool.
a duet, maybe.
Oh, Patrick.
Listen.
Or what if it started off like the version in the film and then it transitioned into Panic at the Disco?
I love that idea, too.
I'm full of good ideas today.
You're full of something.
Yeah. Fox, Searchlight Pictures' Jojo Rabbit, and 20th Century Fox's Ford v Ferrari were both nominated for Best Picture. Lucasfilm's Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker received 3 nominations for sound editing, visual effects, and original score by John Williams. For a complete list of the nominees for the 92nd Annual Academy Awards, visit oscar.go.com. The awards ceremony will air live on Sunday, February 9th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on ABC.
Are you an Oscars watcher?
I used to be. I'm not anymore.
Same here.
I get kind of an oogie feeling from it.
Wow.
Like it's kind of gross. It's very self-flagellating. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I'm going to self-flagellate right now. Maybe.
Can you wait till I leave?
No.
Please? No.
What's happening? What's happening? Masquerade. Paper faces on parade. Masquerade. You know what I'm talking about, Adam?
Hide your face so the world will never find you.
I actually really love that song.
I love Phantom of the Opera.
Masquerade.
I'm not afraid to admit it. I love Phantom.
Paper faces on parade.
Yeah, that's a great Act 2 opener, that song.
Masquerade.
He's going to keep going, folks. He's going to keep going.
We're just going to sing that one line over and over for your listening pleasure. Let's tell the folks what we're talking about.
I would love to know. I'm confused.
Yeah, me too. Where am I right now? This February 22nd, the Edison in Disney Springs will hold its first ever Masquerade. I'm not going to stop doing it.
What you can't see at home is that Patrick is gesturing emphatically as if he were holding a skull playing Hamlet or something. He's very dramatic about it.
Yeah, I'm a method
Yeah.
on the podcast.
meth head on the podcast.
Offensive and accurate. Guests will have a chance to dress incognito in an evening full of magic and surprises. Gourmet past appetizers will be served throughout the evening, as well as a special menu of themed cocktails. Masks are mandatory. However, full masks are prohibited. And And you must be 21 or older to attend. The evening will begin at 8:30 p.m. and will go until 2 a.m.
Wow.
It's just like a sex party, Adam.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's very eyes wide shut.
That's what I was just about to say. This is why we host a podcast
This
together.
is why we do it. Tickets are on sale now for this sex party. For $65 per person before tax and gratuity by visiting the edisonfla.com. VIP booths and reserved seating are available by calling 407-560-8155.
The VIP booths have a bed in them. They have a bed.
And I think we know what the P stands for in the VIP booths, don't we?
We sure do.
Purses.
That's where you store your purses.
Mm-hmm.
So you can dance. And then have sex with everyone else at the masquerade party. But no full masks, anybody.
What a Disney podcast. What a very Disney podcast.
Yeah, we're really pushing the limits today.
Pushing something, Adam. And it's 40. We're pushing 40.
I'm there. The Walt Disney Company has announced that it will be dropping the Fox brand from 21st Century Fox and Fox Searchlight Pictures, two assets it acquired last March, and rebranding the pair 20th Century Studios and Searchlight Pictures, respectively.
Interesting.
According to a January 17th Variety article, quote, the logos won't be dramatically altered, just updated. The most notable change is that the word Fox has been removed from the logo marks. Variety goes on to state, on the TV side, no final decisions have been made about adjusting the monikers of production units 20th Century Fox Television and Fox 21 Television Studios. Discussions about a possible name change are underway, but no consensus has emerged, according to a source close to the situation.
Interesting. I am on board with this.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling they are trying to separate themselves from Fox News.
Absolutely.
And it is a wise decision.
Absolutely, Patrick. Anytime I hear Fox now, my tummy kind of goes, uh-oh.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is so smart.
Absolutely. I have no idea if that's why they're doing it, but it's why they're doing it.
That's why they're doing it.
Guests visiting Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in both Disneyland and Disney World now have a chance to purchase 3 limited release pins available only by visiting the land. To secure an opportunity to get the pin, you must log into the Play Disney Parks app. By visiting the land itself, you will earn the Black Spire Explorer achievement, unlocking a BB-8 pin. If you ride Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, you earn the Flight of the Falcon achievement, unlocking the corresponding pin. And if you ride Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, you will earn the Hero of the Resistance achievement, unlocking that pin. Once you have unlocked the qualifying achievement in the app, you can bring your phone to a participating location to purchase your pin. In Disneyland, you purchase the pins at Little Green Men Store Command in Tomorrowland or Westward Ho Trading Company in Frontierland. And in Disney World, you can purchase the pins at Keystone Clothiers or Celebrity 5 and 10 in Hollywood Studios. Question, is it 5 and 10 or do you say 5 and dime?
I think it can be both. I mean, I would typically say 5 and dime.
Yeah.
But if it's spelled out 5 and 10...
It is spelled out 5 and 10.
Then I think it's 5 and 10. But I like 5 and dime better.
Tweedledees, let us know your thoughts on that.
Oh, this is the most important question we've asked.
It really is.
In
It
this
really
entire
is.
episode. Forget Aaron's question earlier.
Get out of here, Aaron.
This is more important.
Moving on with the story. 1 pin per achievement may be purchased per account, and the offer will be valid while supplies last.
Do you use the Play Disney Parks app?
I actually did on this trip. It's one of my first times using it in Galaxy's Edge, and it was super fun because in that land, the app unlocks things that happen in the land itself. It's really cool. It's a fun thing to do while you're waiting in line as well.
That's the only time I've ever used it, while I was waiting in line for Rise of the Resistance.
Oh.
But typically I try to stay off my phone unless I'm accessing a Fast Pass or trying to arrange a Fast Pass. Isn't that fascinating?
It's fascinating, and I don't do that. I am only on my phone. I've never seen Disney World.
Welcome to the Disney Plus Corner.
Ooh.
How does the theme song go for this segment, Patrick?
Plus up your love. Plus up your day. It's Disney Plus in the corner. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was imagining. Wow.
You're welcome.
According to a January 14th Deadline article, Disney Plus led all apps in the U.S. with more than 30 million downloads in the fourth quarter. The research firm Sensor Tower, which specializes in mobile app insights, found that Disney grossed more than $50 million from Disney Plus downloads in the quarter. That tally was higher than the proceeds for established subscription players like HBO Now and Showtime. Disney Plus's revenue outpaced HBO Now's biggest month, which came in the summer of 2017 when the 7th season of Game of Thrones arrived. It's important to note that Sensor Tower's report measures only the App Store and Google Play and does not include third-party Android stores for other distribution hubs like Roku or Amazon channels. But it's also important to note that Disney Plus has yet to launch in much of Europe, including the UK, which will happen in late March.
I don't understand anything you just said.
Disney Plus is doing very well.
Okay, great.
Yep. Apparently, I manifested this next bit of Disney Plus news from my comment in last week's episode, Patrick.
I think you did.
According to a January 9th Variety exclusive, Lizzie McGuire creator Terry Minsky is stepping away from her role as showrunner on the upcoming revival of the series for Disney Plus. A new showrunner has yet to be named. A Disney spokesperson stated, quote, "After filming 2 episodes, we concluded that we need to move in a different direction and are putting a new lens on the show. Production has been halted while the search for a new showrunner takes place."
Shocking.
I made that happen. You're welcome, everybody.
It's just shocking to me that show can't stand the test of time.
Next up, The Hollywood Reporter announced in a January 10th exclusive that a Space Camp remake is in the works at Disney+. The 1986 film starred Kate Capshaw, Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston, Tate Donovan, who is just so hot in it.
Oof.
And Joaquin Phoenix, who was going by the name Leaf back then. Leaf Phoenix.
Oh, boy.
And it also starred a robot named Jinx. Have you ever seen Space Camp, Patrick?
I can't say I have.
Oh, I highly recommend you check it out.
I can't say I will.
Saturday Night Live's Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel will be writing the script. It's real bad. And you know what was real sad about it was that it opened months after the Challenger disaster in the
boy.
80s. And so that's kind of why it tanked at the theaters, because no one wanted to see that.
A gurg.
Moving on.
Yes, please.
Pre-production has begun on a Willow TV series at Disney+.
Yes.
Solo writer Jonathan Kasdan will be spearheading the revival of Ron Howard's 1988 fantasy film, which starred Warwick Davis, Val Kilmer, and Joanne Whalley. The series would pick up 30 years after the events of the first film. Warwick Davis has stated he would, quote, "certainly relish the opportunity to play a character that I really enjoyed playing the first time around."
Willow.
I loved Willow.
Oh, man, that movie is wonderful. It still is.
And dark, too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch it.
Okay, let's stop recording.
Okay.
And we're back.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
So good. It was so good.
Moving on, according to a January 13th Deadline article, the Disney Plus Marvel series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, has suspended its Puerto Rico location shoot due to recent earthquakes. On January 7th, a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the island along its southern coast. Another quake with a reading of 5.9 occurred on January 11th. It's unclear whether production will continue in the Puerto Rico location going forward.
That's a bummer.
You know what else is a bummer? The way I say Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
It's not good.
It's real bad.
Puerto Rico.
Nope, that's worse.
Is that worse? Isn't that how you're supposed to say it, though? Puerto Rico?
I think you can say it however you want to say it.
I'm going to go back to my just horribly white, terrible way of saying Puerto Rico.
That's the way you say it. You finally landed on it.
And last but not least, the site MakingStarWars.net is reporting a rumor that Jar Jar Binks will be appearing in the Deborah Chow-directed untitled Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi series starring Ewan McGregor.
Great. So great.
According to the site, quote, early work has been conducted for the CGI Gungan's return to Star Wars. Jar Jar has a beard. I'm going to keep reading, but we'll talk about that in a second. Jar Jar has a beard to reflect where he's been and what his life has been like since they were all deceived by a great lie that ushered in the first galactic empire.
So his beard's full of secrets?
It's full of secrets.
Oh, dear. Is one of those secrets why they're bringing him back? I want to know the answer to that.
It's just a rumor.
Okay.
But my questions are, will Ahmed Best be returning to portray Jar Jar?
Probably.
Probably. Again, just a rumor, so take it all with a grain of salt.
I'm going to take it with a shot of whiskey.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
That's the only way. to take this news.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, hello, Adam.
Oh, hello, Patrick.
What are you doing today?
I'm about to hear about all of your amazing stories
You're so lucky.
from the Walt Disney World half marathon weekend that you just came back from.
What a treat for you and all of our listeners.
I can't wait.
Oh.
And I mean that sincerely.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would have said, I can't wait.
Oh, okay, good.
Sounds great.
That's okay. I'll listen for that later.
Forward to it.
You have a lot of quotes in the air right now.
So welcome back.
Thank you so much.
I think it's really fascinating to hear your perspective on the Run Disney experience, particularly when you keep going back for more and more and more runs.
Yeah.
Because it changes, right?
You're right. It is a little bit different every time. This is now my 5th Run Disney event.
Already? Really?
It is, yeah. So I've done 5 half marathons now.
Look at all those medals up on your wall.
The wall's about to crumble down from the weight of those medals.
Yeah, you might need to install an I-beam or something.
I should have probably built my house with bricks
I feel really safe being in your basement right now.
instead of paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Note to self.
Bad piggy.
I've heard that before. And this is actually my first time experiencing the Run Disney Marathon Weekend, which had its own bag of delights that comes with it.
Was that in quotes or was that actually sincere?
It was a literal bag of delights that they give you.
It sounds wonderful.
No, it was a fun weekend. So inspiring. So many people doing their very first runs. So many people doing their 28th run. It was just, you get all walks of life and all levels of experience, specifically in, I think, the full marathon weekend.
All right, well, let's tear on into this.
Let's do it.
And let's start with talking about the half marathon itself.
Sure.
Because that was the main reason you were down there.
It was, yeah.
And let's talk about how this experience differed from previous runs for you.
Well, a couple of things were different specifically for me for this one. One, in that I got the pleasure of running it with Amanda, our dear friend Amanda, who was doing her very first half marathon.
Congratulations, Amanda.
Congratulations, Amanda. She did amazing. It was really fun when we passed the 10-mile mark. That was the furthest she had ever run before.
Yeah.
And so we both had a little bit of a breakdown emotionally of just being so proud of each other for getting through this ordeal of a run.
For anyone who's listened to Amanda's episodes on this podcast, you know that she has a way of turning kind of an everyday experience into a more poetic experience.
Yes.
So I can only imagine like reaching that milestone and reaching that achievement, what that turned into then from that moment on.
A mess. It turned into a mess, Adam.
So you were sweating and crying?
Oh my gosh.
So much moisture being
So
expelled
much moisture.
from your bodies.
And then we just chugged some Gatorade to replenish ourselves.
Well, that must have been really special to run that half marathon with Amanda.
It was really special to watch anybody doing their first big achievement like that. It's really an emotional experience, and we had a blast, and we had a lot of lovely moments together on the road.
Can I ask you a question about pacing?
Yeah.
Had you run together before?
No, this was our very first time running together.
So how do you manage pacing when I assume you're both kind of running at different paces on your own?
Absolutely. I typically don't run with people. I don't know that I'm a good running coach or partner just because I am sort of mentally in my own space. But this time I knew that Amanda wanted me to sort of be the leader and set the pace for her.
Yeah.
I'll get into it later. For a couple of reasons, we slowed way down for this run. I am, and this is not a brag by any means, I'm a little bit more experienced of a runner than
Sure.
Amanda is. And
Yeah.
so my pace tends to be just a little bit quicker. But I really wanted to make sure that we stayed together.
Yeah.
And so I slowed down a little bit, but then we did a run, walk, run method,
Yeah.
which I typically do anyways. For this race in specific, the weather was so hot.
I was going to say.
It was unseasonably and
Yeah.
unreasonably hot
Yeah.
on both the half marathon and the full marathon day. And so everybody slowed way down. And so our time, I don't even know what our time was because we just stopped caring about it at
Right.
a certain point.
Yeah.
But so we did slow way down.
To your benefit, I would imagine, because it was so hot, it was great to be able to take more frequent breaks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just for our health in general. People
Yeah.
were like sort of being told to slow down for this race specifically. But I think that we had a pretty good match with each other. Like was following everything that I was doing, and I was making sure that if she needed to walk a little bit longer instead of starting to run again, that we just were in sync with each other. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good partnership.
Were you talking to each other the entire way, or were you both kind of zoning out, listening to your own tunes and checking in with each other as necessary?
I'm not a chatter when I run. I don't like to talk. I want to zone out. But we were very aware of each other and kept looking back and forth to make sure that we were with each other, and that if one of us was going to raise her hand to start walking, then the other followed suit. We chatted a couple of times, like at that 10-mile mark, and sort of at every mile mark, we just checked in with each other. How you doing? Beyond that, we weren't like having conversations or anything.
Did you talk about me?
We did. We did have a full conversation at mile 9 about how sad we are that you're in our life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the crying at mile 10.
And that's what started the crying at mile 9.5.
Thank you for making me a part of that experience.
Absolutely.
Thank
absolutely.
You.
No, we did gossip about you a lot, though. So
sure.
You're welcome. Sure. But no real chatting.
Were there any differences in this run compared to other runs that you've done as far as like things you saw along the run or things you got to experience as part of the run?
Absolutely. So this course is different than most of the other runs because they have the full marathon involved, and so they are redirecting traffic in a different way. So in my past runs, you go through Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. On this run, you start at the Epcot parking lot and you run to and through the Magic Kingdom, which is so amazing. That was another point that we both emotionally had breakdowns.
I can imagine you run up Main Street, right?
You run down Main Street and then through Tomorrowland, and then you loop back through and you run through the castle itself, and then you run out sort of where the parade exits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really through Frontierland.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. The music is playing, and there are fans and spectators all along the route cheering you on. It's a really emotional experience, and most people, I think, have a really sort of cathartic moment at that time when you see the castle.
I can only imagine. Was the music different than what's normally playing on Main Street, or was it like the kind of turn-of-the-century ragtime situation?
It's mostly Disney theme. I feel like it was like Zippity Doo Dah and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, like very Disney classics that are playing, but instrumental versions of them.
Yeah.
It's really lovely, and the castle's all lit up, and the streets are lit up. It's beautiful.
I was going to say, are the holiday lights still on the castle?
The holiday lights were still on the castle for this trip. The tree was still up, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really interesting. People were noting that this weekend that I think this is the longest they've kept the holiday decor up at the Magic Kingdom.
It's probably because it felt so much like Christmas, being 150 degrees.
It felt exactly like Christmas. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, and then after that, you just basically loop around and you run back to and through Epcot.
Interesting. So you started and finished in Epcot.
Yes.
And you had never started in Epcot before, had you?
No, typically you start at the Magic Kingdom parking lot, but you don't run through the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And you run to Epcot instead.
So this was your first time running through the Magic Kingdom?
It was, yeah.
Oh my gosh, incredible.
It was incredible. I will absolutely do it again. It's not to be missed.
Do you have an opportunity to pull over and grab some fudge or grab some merch while you're running?
You don't. At least I didn't. We were actually a little worried about keeping pace on this run. No, but it was really magical. You could smell it though. Like you can tell even when you run through the Welcome to the Magic Kingdom in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it smells like cotton candy already.
Oh my gosh.
It's really lovely.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm glad you got to experience that finally, because I know that was a dream of yours to be able to run down Main Street.
It absolutely was, and I'm glad I got to achieve that.
So let's chat a little bit more about the weather, because it was so extreme.
It was a definite factor in this weekend that a lot of people were chatting about all weekend long.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, very unexpectedly hot and humid on specifically the days of the half marathon and the full marathon. When I landed on Thursday, Disney had already started issuing weather alerts to the runners, warning people to stay hydrated and cautioning that absolutely nobody should be attempting a personal record during these runs due to the weather itself. They had also actually alerted people that if conditions got worse than they expected, they would cancel either of the runs.
Oh, wow.
Which I think they've only done once for this marathon weekend.
Wow.
Due to the weather.
Yeah.
So for perspective, the average temperature this time of year in the morning would be just around or under 50 degrees. And when we woke up at 2 a.m., it was already 70 degrees with, I think, around 60% humidity.
Oh, no.
It was pretty swampy.
Yeah.
So you could definitely tell the difference. It's not great running conditions by any stretch of the imagination.
Just putting myself in Amanda's sweat-filled shoes shoes for a moment. I would imagine that you're just so excited, right?
Yeah.
To do your first half marathon in Walt Disney World. But then I would also imagine that you have to temper your expectations so much, not just for like the pace at which you run, but just your overall experience for the run too.
Yeah.
Like, it must be so thrilling, but at the same time you have to remind yourself, okay, I need to cool it literally down
Absolutely.
to be able to do this.
Ironically, we were going to do a run together here in Minnesota this past winter, the reindeer run, but we might be witches or something with the weather because it like a huge downfall of snow happened, and we were like, oh, we can't do it. We're not going to do this run.
All right, so just terrible weather follows you wherever you go.
That's exactly right. If the two of us are together, a tornado might happen. So on the day of the full marathon, toward the end, they actually did make a decision to alter the course, to shorten it a little bit, and they issued the following statement. Given today's warm weather and the course length, we are modifying the course for our runners' safety. Even with the modified course, run times will still be recorded and runners will receive medals at the finish line. So it did start getting a lot hotter, and the full marathon obviously is a lot longer, and I think a lot of people were really feeling it and slowing way down, and I think they had to pull some people off of the course because of it, which is really unfortunate. So they made that decision to shorten the course by about 1.5 miles, I think.
I'm so glad that they look out for everyone's well-being.
That's exactly right.
But what a bummer if you are training for this.
I know.
And then it has to be shortened and you can't have your full marathon experience.
So what's inspiring is that I heard a lot of stories of people who, toward the end of the course, when they know there's about 1 mile left, they just started running back and forth to make up that last mile because they were like, Disney's not going to stop us from actually personally getting this last mile in. And so that was pretty inspiring that people wanted to do that.
That's incredible.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I applaud anybody who, finished the full marathon in general, and especially those people who personally wanted to make up that last mile. It was a real feat of endurance, I have to say.
We should also mention that the Walt Disney World Marathon is a chance for runners to experience the Dopey Challenge, right?
Yes.
Patrick, can you talk about what the Dopey Challenge is for those that don't know?
It's absolutely incredible and aptly named.
Yeah.
So the Dopey Challenge is doing the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and then finishing with the full marathon on 4 consecutive days.
That's insanity to me.
It is a lot of running.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible feats of strength and endurance have to be done. And not to mention waking up at 2 a.m. 4 days in a row is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
One of our Tweedledees, our Canadian Tweedledee,
Yes, Nick.
did the Dopey Challenge.
He did the Dopey Challenge. Fun fact, he has done all of the Dopey Challenges since they started doing it. So he now has 7 Dopey medals.
Stop trying to be superhuman.
I know. It's
Nick.
incredible.
Or succeeding at it, I should say.
What's cute is now he has 7 dwarfs.
That's really cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, he and a very small group of people are actually, they call themselves Dopey Perfect, meaning they've done all of the Dopey Challenges.
Wow, that's like being a gold star gay.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's a purple star Dopey. What's cool for Disney is that they know and they track these things. And so his finisher medal for the Dopey Challenge is actually a different color than everybody else's because they knew that he had a perfect record with running the Dopey Challenge. It's fascinating that they know enough to do that.
That shocks me, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't shock me because that's just that special bit of Disney magic.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
So they have people, I think, tracking these sort of, I'm going to call them elite runners and very perfect Dopey runners. They know when they're about to cross the finish line, so they get those medals ready for them.
What an experience that must be.
It's really cool. It's really, really lovely. I know his husband, Dave, volunteers a lot with the Run Disney events. And one year, I believe the story goes, Nick, you'll have to correct me on this one if I'm wrong, but sometimes as a full marathon runner, you'll get these very special Mickey ears that say that you did the full marathon. And they knew that they were married, and they let Dave be the one to present him with his Mickey ears at the end of the full
that's so
marathon.
sweet.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I love that. Disney, well done. They really take care of their runners, and not just physically, but emotionally. They do a really good job.
Well, before we move on, Patrick, we do have a listener question regarding the Walt Disney World Marathon experience.
Fun.
Jessica wrote in. Jessica is on Instagram at Jessica ReadyFab, I think.
Ooh, I like
Jessica?
that.
Jessica wants to know, are the crowds out of control during the race weekend or just typical busy? My sister wants to do the half and me the 5K. Need all the deets.
That's a great question. So these events are designed to happen during low attendance moments for the park. So it's hard to know. Here's my answer. I think that there almost is no low period at Disney anymore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That being said, we never had to wait very long to get on any rides. So I think if wait times are something that is holding you back from a Run Disney event, escape that from your mind. Just delete it and go do the Run Disney event. It was not terrible. In fact, I do think a lot of people avoid the Run Disney events if they know that they're happening because they think it's going to be crazy out of control, and it simply isn't. It's not that bad at all. It was maybe one of my favorite trips because it wasn't so busy, January specifically.
A thought just occurred to me. I couldn't help but wonder.
Okay, Carrie Bradshaw.
No, but I was just thinking, you're right. I think a lot of people there are there to run, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So think about the early morning hours when people are running or like finishing the runs.
Mm-hmm.
Parks might actually be a little bit more quiet because there's a race going on.
Yes.
And people might head back to their rooms early, particularly if they're like Nick, who's doing the Dopey Challenge, where they need to be up at 2 a.m. for consecutive days.
Yeah.
So the parks might actually be a little bit more quiet in the evenings, too.
And locals, I think, tend to stay away because traffic is so diverted during the runs that
Sure,
it's
yeah.
kind of a mess to get to the parks.
Yeah.
So unless you're staying on property, it's kind of hard to get to the parks during the races. So yeah, I would say don't consider wait times when booking a Run Disney event. Do it because you're going to do the event and make that be the reason you're going, not to get on all the rides. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. We appreciate that question.
Thank you.
Okay, enough about running. Who cares? Who cares? No, first of all, congratulations, Patrick.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
Aw.
I love to hear about your Run Disney experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this is something that's really important to you, so
Yeah.
it's wonderful to hear you talk about it and recap your runs, and I look forward to future recaps.
Thank you so much. You'll get one in April because I'm already
Yes.
registered for the Star Wars half marathon.
Speaking of Star Wars, Patrick,
Yeah.
a little attraction called The Rise of the Resistance recently opened in Walt Disney World.
Not so little, my friend. Not so little.
And this was your first opportunity to experience it.
Absolutely it was.
Go.
I hated it. I hated every second of it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. No, it was mind-blowing. Like, I don't know how really to describe it. But here goes.
Let's talk about the experience leading up to the attraction, first of all, like
Sure.
getting onto it, because my experience may have differed vastly from what you went through to get your boarding pass. So talk about how you obtained your boarding pass.
So we arrived at Hollywood Studios at around 6 a.m. because the park was going to open at 7 a.m. And when I say we, I was there with our friend Amanda and her brother-in-law Josh, and her parents were there as well. So we got there at 6 a.m., went through bag check, got some coffee, as you do, and then we headed to the gates. They opened the gates around 6:20,
Okay.
I believe, to let people into the parks, and it was pretty packed. It wasn't as crazy as I think when you were there. It was a little bit lower attendance that day, thank goodness. We had beforehand made sure that we were all linked up on the Disney app so that any one of us could have gotten the boarding pass.
That's an excellent tip that you just brought up. It's so important that if you're trying to ride the ride with people in your party, you all need to be connected on the app.
You do. So the way that you do that, if you're confused about it, make sure that you are able to make a fast pass selection on behalf of someone else. That is how you link up for Rise of the Resistance as well. So if you're not connected, you won't be able to get a boarding pass for that person. So we did all of that, and then we made a quick decision to try to head over to Rock and Roller Coaster
Yes.
as our first ride of the day. So when you do get into the park, obviously the park's not open yet. You just go to those rope drop locations as you would any normal day. We got in line, and we all put our phones on and just started staring at the screen
Yeah.
until 7 a.m. Another fun tip that we learned from cast members is sometimes it's easier to get through if you turn off your Wi-Fi, but make sure that your Bluetooth is on so that all of your Magic Bands and phones are still connected, because everyone's using the Wi-Fi at that time, and which may slow it down.
That is a super smart tip.
It's a really good tip, but make sure that it's working. So sometimes people's phones just don't have location services that work very well. So
Right.
in that case, put the Wi-Fi back on.
Yeah.
They make a lot of announcements during that last half hour before 7 a.m., reminding people to look at their phones, have it out. You may or may not get a boarding pass. And then right at 7 a.m., they play the Star Wars theme, and everyone freaks out. It was hilarious to watch everybody. But everyone turned their phones on and just started hitting get pass, get pass, get pass until one of us broke through. And Amanda, I believe, was the one who got our boarding passes. And I think we were number 38 of the day.
That's fantastic.
It was a really low number. I think they were going up to about 110 that day of how many boarding passes they would allow through, and anything beyond that, you may or may not get on the ride.
So then were you able to relax a little bit after that and then go on Rock and Roller Coaster?
We all high-fived and then ran over to Rock and Roller Coaster. It was basically a walk-on at that point. They didn't even stop you for the little pre-show. They just put you right on the roller coaster.
I wish they'd do that every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that pre-show, but I get why they do it, just to hold people back so they're not all jammed up.
Sure.
But yeah, it was really fun. It's a really weird feeling going on a thrill ride roller coaster at 7:10 in the morning.
It'll wake you up.
Yeah, it was a really weird way to start the day. But it was lovely. It was lovely.
All right, so let's talk about the ride itself and your experience on it.
Yeah. It is, as you know, and as many of our Tweedledees know, it's more than a ride. It's a theatrical experience, I would say. It is fantastic. The hype will not disappoint, I think. And I don't say that very often. I always sort of try to temper my expectations, but this time I was like, it's going to be incredible. I know it is. And it was. It was absolutely beautiful. Even the queue is amazing when you first go through the tunnels and you start seeing the things that are in the cages, and it's amazing. Amazing.
I'm curious to hear your experience with the cast members that are peppered throughout the ride, kind of driving the story forward.
It was really well done. I hope that they continue down that path. I'm interested to go on this ride in California, where they tend to have a wider selection of actors probably to choose from.
Yeah.
And if that changes the experience or not. But they were all really, really on their game that day. It was really remarkable. There's a moment in the ride where they sort of interrogate you a little bit in groups, and I was singled out by a very handsome first order cast member, I don't know what to call them, who, played around with me with interrogating me. It was really funny and fun.
He played around with you?
Okay. We had a moment.
Were there cuffs involved?
I was very interrogated. Let's just say that.
Some light BDSM slapping.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. It was really lovely.
They are so committed to their roles.
They are. And I, as a true improv artist, I always said yes.
Yeah.
So here we are. There was no resistance on that rise. Oh, boy.
That was one thing that made the ride so special for me, was just the cast members' excitement to be a part of it and to kind of continue the story and really make your experience immersive.
Yeah, they are very dedicated, and you can tell that they really were loving what they were doing. It was really well done.
Let me ask you about another moment in the ride.
Sure.
A moment that, if you listen to our episode where I recapped my trip to Walt Disney World in December, shook me, as the kids say. Shook me.
Yeah.
The transport doors open, and suddenly you're on a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Talk about that moment.
What on earth is happening? It was crazy. It was so unexpected. It was disorienting. I don't want to give away too much because it is a really beautiful surprise that they give you, and it was confusing at first, you know what I mean? And then the only thing everyone could do in that transport vehicle was start weeping immediately when they walked into that Star Destroyer, which is something that I think everyone has seen photos of, so this won't be a surprise. But that room full of stormtroopers is so iconic. It's in almost every single Star Wars movie, and you can't help but be like, this is my childhood. I am reliving my childhood right now in a very real way.
And as I said earlier, too, there's no opportunity for you to point out the workings of it necessarily.
Yeah.
It's completely believable as a loading bay or whatever it is on a Star Destroyer. Like, there's not stage lights that you see.
No.
It's just the room.
Yeah.
And the lights that are lighting the room are lights that you would see in any Star Wars film.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you were saying on the last episode when you got to go on the ride how still it is in there.
Yeah.
It's astounding. I don't understand at all, as someone who works in the theater, how they achieved that, but it is a true work of art.
I'm going to start crying right now thinking about it again.
Yeah.
I mean, it is astonishing and surprising and wonderful to walk into that room.
And there's so many little moments that are happening in there as well that you'll miss it if you don't pay attention. At one point, I was just looking with my jaw open at all of the stormtroopers, and one of them turned their head, and I was like, what's happening right now? Like, I know it's not real, but my mind wouldn't allow me to consider it fake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, this is real. This is happening right now.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I love that they give you a good amount of time to take it all in as well, which makes my mind explode because this probably isn't the only one. Not to like ruin any magic, but there must be a couple of Star Destroyers that are available.
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't like, would they commit to building several rooms like that?
I don't get it. I don't understand.
Because they do give you a moment in that room to take pictures.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I don't know.
And they must have considered that too, because they give you a strange amount of time to be there and to let the rest of whatever's happening happen. It's outstanding.
Yeah.
And at no point do you see another transport system like pull up. You know what I mean? Like it's not as though other people are joining you. You're still in the same group at that point. It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Let's talk a little bit about the trackless ride experience.
Yeah.
Give me your reaction.
In one word, it's surprisingly smooth. I didn't expect it to feel that way. I guess I didn't know what to expect. I guess I think it was my very first time on a trackless ride, if I'm not mistaken, and it's mind-boggling how they're doing this with just, I don't know, antennas or something telling the car where to go. It's weird. It's like a Wi-Fi system, I guess, right?
I don't know how they achieve it necessarily. If it's all just pre-programmed into the ride vehicles, or whether, I know on the parade route, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to use pucks like built into Main Street that would like read where the floats needed to go.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know if that's part of it or not, but what struck me about it most was like it was almost like a dance, right?
I was literally just going to say, once you get into that part of the ride, it's a big piece of choreography, basically.
Yeah.
And it's so well done. Like they are directing your attention exactly where it needs to go. Yet if you do want to look around, not one moment of that ride is undetailed.
Right. There's no like backstage reveal.
No.
It's all just you are in the Star Destroyer.
It's all absolutely happening, and it's all flawless. It was really beautiful.
And one thing that my mind keeps going back to reflecting on my experience with the ride is that there are levels to it, right? Because you go up, you go down, like how massive that show building must be. I can't even comprehend it.
And you don't see it anywhere.
Right.
Like it's completely hidden.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this is all happening, but it is a feat that needs to be awarded, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it is up for an award, isn't it?
I'm sure.
I know
I'm
Smuggler's
certain of
Run
it.
was.
Yeah.
So maybe this one needs to wait until next year to be considered for anything. But yeah, it's outstanding. I absolutely love this ride. Here's one thing I will say about it. If you don't know Star Wars at all, if you've never seen a Star Wars movie, this ride will make absolutely no sense to you whatsoever.
Good point.
I'm sure that you can still enjoy it. And I would love to know if there's a Tweedledee out there who's never seen Star Wars but has gone on this ride, because I want to know your thoughts on that. Because it is so heavily movie designed that unlike a ride like Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror, you don't need to have any backstory into Aerosmith or Twilight Zone to enjoy that ride.
Right.
This one, I feel like you do need some Star Wars knowledge to fully appreciate the ride.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Thank you. Go on this if you have the opportunity to do so. It's amazing. It'll make you feel some things that you didn't know you were going to feel. Both during and after the ride, Josh and I both sort of broke down emotionally, not only because it was so nostalgic and wonderful, but it was so theatrical and so impressive that my mind just needed a minute to like unleash some tears because it was just that fantastic.
Matthew was asking me questions after we got off it. Like he wanted to know my complete thoughts on the entire experience.
Yeah.
But it is one of those experiences for me anyway, where I can't really talk about it immediately after. Like I just need to like let it be for a while because it is so unexpected and beyond anything that I had experienced for an attraction up until that point. So yeah, you're right. It's mind blowing.
That's exactly what I experienced. I actually sort of removed myself from the group for a second. So I was like, I can't talk to anyone right now. I just need to like recap what just happened in my head just so I can fully remember it later and really enjoy the moment. So it was okay. It was fine.
It's fine.
Yep, it's an average ride.
All right, Patrick, so moving on, what other new and fun things did you experience during this trip?
Quite a few, actually. One simple thing that I discovered, I'll use that in air quotes. On our first day, Amanda and I went to Epcot to meet her family, and we were super hungry. We had just come back from the expo, the Run Disney Expo, and we met them in Mexico at the cantina, what's it called? The De San Angel La Cantina?
Wow, that's
offensive. Did I
don't think so.
The way that I pronounced it?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly. And I always forget that there's an inside to that restaurant.
Yeah.
Most people sit outside because it's usually pretty lovely out. And we just grabbed a quick taco, and went inside and got a window seat right on the lagoon. It's so beautiful in there and air conditioned. I'm going to do that every time now.
I've heard that the food there is better than the restaurant actually inside the pavilion.
I have no idea. I have no comparison.
Okay.
But it is delicious. I'll say that. And almost nobody was in there. I feel like almost everyone forgets that exists. So hot tip, go inside and eat there.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I've never been inside there to eat either.
Yeah, and you don't need a reservation. It's just a quick service location. So it's really beautiful inside. Another thing you'll be happy to know, Adam, is that I got to eat at Chef Art Smith's homecoming.
Patrick!
Finally.
What did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. So I was invited to go by our Canadian friends, our Canadian Tweedledees, and all of their friends, who I'll talk about in a minute. It was so much fun hanging out with them. It's so delicious. It's so delicious. I had the shrimp and grits, which was one of the best meals I've maybe ever had.
Oh.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love this place. I'm in love with it now. I may make it a frequent stop on my Disney trips.
I would really love to try out their brunch sometime, too, although I feel like the rest of the day would just be a lost cause then, because how do you waddle around after eating all that?
It's true. It's true. And we did try the hummingbird cake.
Did you love it?
One of your favorites. I liked it.
Okay.
I appreciate how delicious it was.
Yeah.
I'm not so much a sweets person. I'm more of a savory person.
That's true.
So in that respect, it's not my favorite dessert, but I can appreciate how good it is.
It's very sweet.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot. And for me, there's nothing too sweet.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah.
That being said, I do recommend it to a friend.
And we can still be friends for that recommendation.
Great. So another fun thing that not really specifically happened, but it enhanced my experience, is I got the privilege of hanging out with Amanda and her family, which includes her sister Alicia and brother-in-law Josh and their parents, of course, and their beautiful, amazing children.
Oh, the kids were there too.
The kids were there too. Noah, Flora, Evie, and Sabrina. I miss you already.
So cute.
They are adorable and charming and still melt down as normal kids do.
That's good to hear. Because those kids are prodigies.
They are, yes, it's
They're
true.
like musical prodigies. They're
Yeah.
so smart and so cute. So it's good to hear that they have some human traits too.
Yes, they do have some human traits. In fact, we almost killed one of them.
Oh.
Amanda and I.
Good.
She's going to be mad at me for mentioning this, but little Sabrina was asleep in her stroller, and Amanda and I were chatting while the other brood were on Soarin' in Epcot, and we were just chatting and having some popcorn, and then little Sabrina just slips right out of the stroller onto the ground. So we threw the popcorn in the air, picked up the crying child, and then we were stuck with a hysterical baby for what seemed like 6 days.
I'm proud of you for sacrificing popcorn for a baby.
We
though.
sacrificed popcorn.
Good for you.
Thank you so much.
You had never been to Walt Disney World with little ones, right?
Actually, my very first time, I got to go with my niece and nephew, who were
okay.
quite young at the time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't my first experience, but it had been a number of years since I've been with children. And it changes your trip for sure in a great way. I got to appreciate the park through the eyes of children, which is something really fascinating to do. One of my very favorite things that happened was I got to go on Dinosaur with little Evie, who is 5 years old. And she is an adventurer. She
Yeah.
will go on any single ride.
Yeah.
So I got to go on that ride for her very first time.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny to watch. And then when we got off the ride, we were like, "Did you like the ride?" And she's 5 years old. She goes, "I did not like the ride. I loved the ride." Funniest thing in the world.
sassy.
I love her so much. She's amazing. It was such a unique experience getting to go not only with people who have never been before or children who have never been before, but with children in general, and their excitement and their love is unconditional. It's amazing, and it's really, really heartwarming.
All right, well, enough about kids.
Who needs them?
Sick of them.
That's right.
Let's talk about what you bought, because
Oh,
that's
yes.
more important than children.
The most important thing of the entire trip, Patrick's purchases.
Patrick's purchases.
That should be a segment on the show.
It should. It is right now.
It is currently.
What did you buy?
Not too much, I have to say.
Excuse me.
And when it comes to not too much, what I mean is less than 100 items.
Okay.
A typical trip is a mortgage payment, basically.
I almost just spit on my coffee when you said that. Accurate.
Yeah, fair. One of my favorite purchases, I don't know why I never had one before, I got myself a Stitch plush.
You don't have a Stitch plush?
I do now, Adam.
Well, you do now, but you didn't have one?
I didn't. I had the Stitch pillow.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like an actual stuffed animal Stitch. Stitch, please.
Stitch, please. Well, congratulations on your new edition.
Thank you so much. I bought it at the same time. I bought Amanda her very first Mickey Mouse plush as well.
Oh, that's needed.
They had a little deal of buy two and it's only $1,000 or whatever it is. So that was fun. And I got some pins. I got some limited edition Disney pins. One of them is the Muppet Christmas Carol pin.
Oh my gosh.
It's really lovely. I'll hand it to you right now.
Thank
Listeners
you so
at
much.
home, Adam's going to describe it for you.
First of all, it's very big.
Thank you so much.
It is a wreath, and in the center of the wreath are Kermit and Piggy and Tiny Tim. Robin. Isn't that his nephew's name? Robin in real life?
Yes.
In the real life
In
of
real
Muppets?
life.
So it's a wreath with three of their heads sticking through the center of the wreath, and then there's a chain that comes down from it and kind of is holding up a sign that says the Muppets Christmas Carol on it.
Yeah, I had never seen a Muppets pin in general, let alone a Muppets Christmas Carol pin.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
I love it. And then I got the Little Mermaid, one of the Little Mermaid 30th Anniversary Edition, limited edition pins.
Oh, Daddy Triton.
Daddy Triton and Sebastian.
And it's the moment where they're entering the concert. And so Triton's in his shell carriage being pulled by dolphins, and Sebastian is in his tiny shell being pulled by two goldfish.
And he moves.
Oh, he does move.
Yeah, it's a little slider pin.
I also like that this isn't gold, it's rose gold.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
It is really beautiful and warm and inviting.
Thank you so much.
Those are great.
Thank you. I am a new pin lover, but I can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
And I especially a mystery pin lover. Speaking of, my new favorite mystery pins
Yes.
are the Hidden Mickey pin pouches, in which you get two of them, and I wanted to share one of them with you. It's mine, though, Adam. You can't have it.
Okay.
But I think you'll appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, this is so cute.
Isn't it super cute?
I've never seen this before.
So the Hidden Mickey pins, they have a lot of different variations of them.
Yeah.
So this one is part of their pixelated pins
Yeah.
with a little Hidden Mickey on it, and it's the Fox and the Hound one, which I love.
It's the Fox and the Hound, and they are pixelated, almost like an 8-bit
Yeah.
kind of looking game.
That's exactly
look
right.
to them. They look fantastic. I love this.
Yeah, they're super fun. I love them a lot. And they're strangely hard to find. I have found the Hidden Mickey pin pouches are not everywhere. The only place I've ever successfully got them is actually at the All-Star Sports gift shop,
Oh,
strangely.
so they are hidden.
They are hidden.
Oh,
It's
clever.
true. It's true.
Clever.
Beyond that, mostly just a couple of Run Disney shirts I got. I got a Finisher shirt with Donald Duck on it, and I got the Zip-Up Hoodie half marathon with Donald Duck on it, which I love.
I fully endorse these purchases.
Thank you.
I mean, I fully endorse all of your purchases because I get a little high from them, a little contact high.
Yeah.
But specifically, the purchases that highlight why you were there.
Yeah.
And in particular, an achievement like this, it's so important to recognize it. So I love when you buy something that kind of is a memory for you beyond just a general memory. It's a memory of this specific run.
For sure. And Run Disney is doing a really good job lately of commemorating with really good merch. Before it was kind of generic and not necessarily specific to that particular trip, but now they're like adding dates to it and having better characters involved, and they're just doing a really great job. Amanda and I both pre-purchased the Marathon Weekend Magic Bands, which are really beautiful, and I actually need to talk to Matthew because I think I accidentally linked it to his account.
Oh.
So we have some some cleanup to do with the Magic Band.
I can't wait to see those pictures.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, beyond that, it wasn't a heavy merch moment for me this time around, which is something that I need to carry through in my life so I can go on more Disney trips, not buy more Disney things.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I'll still buy them,
Okay,
Adam.
good. Well, let's move on to who you met. So important because I saw so many pictures of you
Yeah.
with some fabulous people, some of them listeners,
Some repeats as well.
some repeats.
Yeah, it was super fun. Like I said, this Run Disney experience, I ran into so many people who were doing their very first run in general, let alone at the Run Disney events. And it was so fun and inspiring, and we just had a blast meeting people this trip. First off, I met Tommy, who is Sky Friendly and Tommy Does Disney on Instagram. He has 2 handles. Tommy ran the 5K, and this was his very first Run Disney event.
Congratulations, Tommy.
Congratulations, Tommy. I also met 2 of his good friends, Rob and James, who were in town visiting from Texas, and they were a delight. It was super fun. We met up in the Magic Kingdom. I was there to meet Tommy because I knew he was going to be there, but we kept missing each other, and I had a random fast pass for Peter Pan's flight, and I was in line, and I get a little message on Instagram, and it says, "Hey, are you in line right now for Peter Pan?" I was like, "Yes."
Stalker.
And there he was. Yeah, they had just joined the line as well. They all had a fast pass as well at the exact same time I did.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Super funny. So we all met up right after the ride and snagged some pictures and chatted. Very lovely. Tommy is a delight. Follow him on Instagram.
Yes, do that.
Do that immediately. And then, of course, I met Eric, who is Eric James on Instagram, who we had the pleasure of meeting in Disneyland this year.
Yes.
He's such a great, great, great human being. He was there with his parents, so I got to meet his parents as well.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
They are adorable. And Eric, I believe this was his very first 5K ever, and he was doing it at Disney World.
Congratulations, Eric.
It's so incredible. I love hearing people jumping into their very first runs. It's so inspiring, and it brings me back to when I did my first one.
Yeah.
So it's an emotional experience when I get to see people have that sort of runner's high after they finish their run. It's really, really great. So congratulations, Eric. Thank you for meeting me again. We got to take our picture in Galaxy's Edge.
Just the two of you?
What? Wow.
I just came up with that.
You should give it back at him. And then, of course, I met the Canada crew, is what I'm calling them now, Nick and Dave, who we talk about quite often on the pod. They are very frequent listeners and commenters for Gaze to the D. Couldn't be lovelier human beings on planet Earth. They are so nice and so generous. And they were there with their great friends, Jen, Mike, Julie, and Cody, all from Canada. They were all participating in the runs that weekend. And I had the pleasure of hanging out with them quite often that weekend. And they are just the loveliest people. You will never meet a greater set of friends, I have to say. They are amazing human beings.
Who was the super fit one in your photos? He's bald. He has muscles.
That was me.
No.
Oh, you must be talking about Mike.
Oh, is it Mike?
It is Mike.
Is he straight or gay? I have questions.
I'm not outing someone on the
all right.
pod.
I just want to know.
But I believe he is a LGBTQ plus community member.
Hi, Mike.
Here's what I'll say. All of them are the most attractive people in the world and the nicest people in the world. But Mike has some muscle.
He does. I appreciate you wearing tank tops and sleeveless shirts, Mike. Good job.
Everyone did. Everyone did. Everywhere he went, I feel like people gave him the elevator eyes as they were walking past him. I was like, okay, we get it. We get it, folks. He's attractive.
I don't mean to objectify someone, but I do.
I did quite often.
Okay, good.
Yep, absolutely. So before we go on any further, I'll give you their Instagram handles so you can stalk
please.
all of them.
Yes. Yeah.
So Nick is Jankowski Nick on Instagram. Dave is SkyGuy747 on Instagram. Jen is J Hey Jay. It's HAYJAY.
Hey, Jay.
She's so funny. Love her. Mike, Adam, are you paying attention? Is MJG Mikey. Julie is salad.
That's something I've never said.
We didn't say that weekend either. And then Cody, her boyfriend, is C3030 on Instagram.
They all look like fantastically fun people.
They are fantastically fun people. Cody, I believe, ran his very first 10K ever.
Congratulations, Cody.
Congratulations, Cody. He is such a delight. Dave ran the full marathon, and then he also, man alive, volunteered at the 10K and the half marathon, giving out water to people. I mean, come on.
That's fantastic, Dave.
We get it. You're a good human being. Good Lord. And then Julie, Jen, Nick, and Mike all did the Dopey Challenge. And as I said before, this was Nick's 7th Dopey Challenge in a row.
Congratulations to you all. That is an accomplishment. That's a feat, is what that is.
That is many feet.
It's many feet running many, many miles.
It's true. Here's the thing. They all did the Dopey Challenge, and then immediately after, they all went to the parks, and we hung out in the parks, and we went and had dinner. Like, they are so fit and so good at running that it didn't seem to faze them
Right.
at all. If they were having mental meltdowns, they didn't show it. And maybe that's just because they're Canadian. I don't know. Who can say?
Yeah.
But they were up for, like, we stayed up well into the evening. It was amazing. They are wonderful human beings. And so beyond that, I did, like I said, end up talking to so many people at the event and throughout the parks, like I said, that were doing their very first runs or doing their 100th run. It's such a community building experience for Run Disney. I have to recommend that anyone just get out there and do it. Do a 5K, do whatever you want to do, or just go and watch, be a spectator, go volunteer. It's a really magical time of year, these events. I'll say something bold, Adam.
Do it.
I think this was maybe, at least in the top 3 favorite trips of mine going to Disney World.
I love it.
It was such a wonderful time. I fully hope that I can do more marathon weekends. And I think, Adam, I might register for the marathon this year.
Patrick?
I know.
Patrick Kazaki.
Or 2021, I guess. You know what I mean? The next marathon weekend. I'm considering it.
Do it.
Okay, great.
Do it.
It's just that easy. There's actually something fun that I am trying to get into my system. And the Canadian Ds were on my case about this because I kept saying, I only did the half marathon. And they were like, no, you did the half marathon. There's no just the half marathon.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely right. I feel like every time I say that, I'm not only belittling what I did, but also belittling people who did the 5K or the 10K. And let me tell you, folks, running 3 miles is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And very few people do it. And congratulations to anyone who's doing anything that they love doing, or if they hate it, bless you as well. But congratulations. It is not easy to do.
I think that's an important lesson that you learned and can be applied to people, whether they're running or not, is just to celebrate your accomplishments.
Absolutely.
For instance, I need to celebrate the fact that I ate a hoagie on the couch while you were running a half marathon.
And not just a hoagie,
Right.
Adam. You ate a hoagie.
Thank you so much. You're right.
You're welcome.
No, but that's really important to acknowledge your accomplishments in life like that.
Absolutely. Let's all collectively stop using the word just when talking about our accomplishments. In that vein, I had a full bottle of whiskey before recording this episode, Adam.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for not saying just.
Not just one bottle, Adam. Many bottles of whiskey.
Well, Patrick, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you had a truly memorable experience this trip down for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a really magical experience. There's something that I love, and I have to thank you for inviting me into this podcast because the friends that we're making is so unexpected.
Replacement friends, I think, is the term you're looking for. We're just auditioning people to be our new best friends.
Yeah, I'm building a set of friends so that when I leave all of you, I have a good placement there.
So smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was considering when I was hanging out with the folks from Canada, I was like, remember in the TV show Friends when Paul Rudd joined the cast?
Yeah.
Like it fit.
Yeah.
But you knew that they were still the main cast. That's how I felt hanging out with them. I was like, I'm your Paul Rudd, aren't I?
You were a very special guest star in their Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend experience.
Absolutely. But he stuck around till the end of filming, so...
That's true. I also think it's very bold of you to compare yourself to Paul Rudd.
He's been compared to worse, I feel like. I know I have. So yeah, it's just a really unexpected and lovely thing that we have all these new friends and Tweedledees, and we're meeting people from Brazil and Canada and Germany. It's crazy. It's something I never thought would happen, and I'm so glad that it is. It feels right. You know what I mean?
It does feel right.
And of course, there were many, many of our Tweedledees who were out there doing the runs that weekend that I did not get to meet up with. And so if you are one of those folks, you should write into us. Let us know your experience. Did you experience something that I didn't experience? I'm sure you did if you ran the full marathon, because I didn't experience that.
An additional 13 miles,
yeah, exactly.
perhaps? Or
And what were your thoughts on the weather, too? Did it slow you down as it did me? Or did it give you energy and you accomplished it in faster than you would have before? Who knows?
We'd also love to know if this was your first Run Disney experience.
Yes, absolutely. What were your thoughts on it?
You can, of course, reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at GDTD Podcast.
And you can always leave us a voice memo or an email at info@gazedothed.com. Fun fact, that took me 13 tries because I haven't said it in a while.
Yeah, but I'm proud of you for not saying just 13 tries.
That took me 13 tries, one for each mile I ran.
Patrick.
Howdy do, Adam.
Howdy do.
I almost asked you what's up, but I didn't want to.
I could see it.
I didn't want to get
see it coming.
slapped in the face again.
That or get an extensive recap of my online gaming.
Which, fun fact, a lot of people have written into us about that.
They have.
I think it needs to be a segment of Adam's, what is it called? Dad Diaries? I don't know what it is. But that's the name of the segment now.
It's called Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Yeah. Dream Daddy. You can download it in the App Store. A lot of people have written in saying, I feel seen. It's good to know I'm not alone in this experience.
You're not joking either. I read those and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, that you've started a daddy revolution.
Dream Daddy revolution. Well, Patrick, we reached the end of the episode.
Thank goodness.
This marathon of an episode.
Oh.
Do you see how I tied that into your trip recap?
Just a half marathon.
Just a half marathon.
Hashtag no just.
No just.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Spirit jersey.
Spirit jersey. No just spirit jersey. Yes, it's the end of the episode. That means it's time for Quick D.
Woohoo!
And this week we're doing Quick D Classic, and that means we're going to be asking each other a question we've not been privy to prior to recording, and we're going to answer it off the cuff.
Yum, yum.
Improvisation.
Yes.
So do you want to ask your question first, or do you want me to ask my question first?
I'll ask you a question, Adam.
Okay.
Are you ready for this, D?
Is that your question? I am ready.
And moving on.
Done and done. Here's my question for you, JK.
Perfect. So, Adam, I think it's time we create a Gaze Do the D app.
Oh.
For folks to play while waiting in lines at Walt Disney World.
Great.
And Disneyland.
Great.
And Tokyo Disney.
Yes.
And Disney Sea.
All of them.
And Shanghai Disney.
Okay.
And the cruise line.
Oh.
Should I keep going?
Well, I don't know if there's much more you can cover, but...
Disneyland Paris.
There you go.
Waiting in a corral for the Run Disney Marathon to start.
That's where this will come in most handy.
Perfect. Tell me what this app is, Adam. Oh. And talk to me more about it being handy.
I can't say what I'm thinking right now. It's too inappropriate. But
Dream Daddy.
Is Mike involved?
Oh my gosh.
That's enough. Mike, the restraining order is already being applied for.
Also, I saw him first, so
yeah.
Get out of here.
That's why we have this podcast.
That's the only reason.
Mike, I hope you're flattered and not embarrassed or terrified.
Or all of the above.
Yeah.
But send us a picture of any of those emotions. Whichever one you're experiencing.
Moving on. We're creating an app.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, back to reality. Talk to me about that app, Adam.
What it is?
What happens when I tap that app?
Oh. Okay, so what the app is.
Yes.
Okay, well, first of all, it's going to have all of our episodes, our back catalog of episodes.
Practical.
Because people need something to listen to while they're running.
Yeah.
Or while they're on the cruise line.
Yeah.
And while they're waiting in line for attractions.
Mm-hmm.
It's also going to have a gallery of 80s inspired photos, mall photos of us with like a lot of filters, like a lot of heavy gauzy filters. And us wearing a lot of lame. Big shoulders, big hair.
I like it.
Heavy lipstick, heavy eyeliner.
I mean, that's a usual day for me.
Workwear is what I like to call it. What Adam and Patrick wear to work.
Yeah.
It's going to have an Are You Single and Ready to Mingle tab, which is location based.
Ooh.
Much like many of the gay apps that are out there.
Okay.
So you can hook up, and I don't mean hook up sexually.
Oh.
I just mean hook up. Maybe you want to grab a drink. Maybe you're looking for a friend. Maybe you want to hook up sexually. I don't know.
Share a Mickey pretzel together.
Yeah. Sexually.
That's the new euphemism. Do you wanna go share a Mickey pretzel?
Yeah. Wink. Don't even need to wink.
Cheese or no cheese?
Oh, that's where it gets a little awkward.
Or hot. Hot cheese.
Is it a jalapeno pretzel or is it just a regular Mickey pretzel?
These are choices you have to make.
Yeah.
Or a Parmesan.
It's kind of like OkCupid in that regard, where you have a bunch of questions you have to answer first, Disney-related questions, and that matches you up with another Disney person in your area.
That's a genius idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
It might already exist. Isn't there a Disney dating site out there for just people who love Disney?
I have no idea.
Well, if not, no one steal this idea.
And by I have no idea, I mean my handle is...
Yeah.
Goofy for you.
That's so restrained for you. It could have gone so much worse.
It will. My other one is Let's Duck.
Oh. That one is worse.
Thank you.
So you achieved it.
Thank you so much.
You didn't just achieve it. You achieved the worst option. Thank you for doing so.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I think this is a solid idea. I think we should put all of our Patreon money into it because it's sure to succeed. Who doesn't need another app on their phone?
Right.
And this is the one that they need.
What's it called?
That's a great question, Patrick.
I know.
And one I had not considered. Most people would probably just call it Gaze Do the D, right? And then you can just access that app. But I think it needs a more clever name than that.
I think you're right. You can do better. It's 2020, Adam.
I think I'm going to call it GDTD. Was that a miss? That was a miss.
GDTD?
Yeah. Like
tap that D.
Tap that D. It doesn't really work. You know what? Let's workshop that.
D-tap.
D-tap.
Gaze tap the D?
That seems too on the nose, doesn't it?
Why is it on your nose? You know what I mean?
You know what? Let's put a pin on this. We'll circle back to it in another episode.
Great.
I certainly encourage all of our Tweedledees to write in with their suggestions. Yeah. Write in with your suggestions of what our Gaze Do the D app should be called. You do the work. We've recorded a whole episode. It's time to move on.
A call to action, if you will.
Oh, Patrick. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, moving on to my question for you. My question for you, Patrick,
yes,
is simply this. We are celebrating the opening of Rise of the Resistance West. It's finally open.
Mm-hmm.
But Disneyland has actually catered the ride more to a Californian lifestyle.
Sensible.
You know, Californians have a certain way of living their lives that we don't have here in the Midwest or in the East.
Yeah.
How have they tweaked the ride to turn it more Californian?
Many ways, Adam.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
There are many changes.
Oh, good.
First off, in the queue,
yeah,
everyone gets a green smoothie.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to be regular before they ride the Resistance?
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you get like boba balls in it? Is that what they're called? Boba balls?
There are balls involved.
Okay.
Adam. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yes.
They're California balls as well.
California balls.
California balls in your green smoothie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
wow.
Mm-hmm. Leafy greens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? All of the changes are mostly food related, Adam.
Oh. Okay. It still works. It still works.
As soon as you leave the first transport system,
yeah,
you are entering a quinoa restaurant.
Oh.
All of the stormtroopers are serving you quinoa salads.
Now, is that a thing? A quinoa restaurant?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's like an ice cream shop, but there's just various flavors of quinoa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's called Quinoa to Be Healthier? Stop Eating That Pizza is the name of the restaurant.
That is a full name.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to take up a lot of neon for that sign.
Yeah, it's an extra large jersey.
Yes.
If you're going to put it on a Spirit jersey.
It is.
The next room you enter is Muscle Beach.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
My interest is piqued.
Mike's there. At Muscle Beach in Space.
Sure, yep. Is it just, what, stormtroopers working out? Or...
It's a lot of sleeveless stormtrooper outfits.
That's kind of hot to me.
Yeah.
I like where you can't really see their face necessarily,
yeah.
but
keep the mask on, sir.
You see the bod.
Or ma'am. I shouldn't have
or
said
ma'am.
just sir.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But let me see those arms.
Yeah. And like, is there like a stormtrooper short
you can
that they wear?
You can barely call it a short, Adam. It's just a piece of fabric.
Yeah, I suppose they do have that kind of black codpiece thing that comes down.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of piping involved as well.
Yeah.
You know, highlighting some things.
Okay, yeah.
Low lighting some things.
Yeah. Also an opportunity, although they're in space, they can't really work on their tan at Muscle Beach. That kind of leans into the Californian lifestyle, though, because spray tans are healthier.
This is true.
Than the actual sun baking your skin.
And you haven't really been on an attraction unless you've seen a stormtrooper doing pull-ups.
Yes.
At Muscle Beach in Space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be a spotter for that. Muscle Beach in Space. Just like
looking up.
You know, like supporting them as they do pull-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a head-to-butt situation or a head-to-codpiece situation.
Yeah, it's a real reach-around situation that's happening.
Yes, it is.
Really good for them.
It is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And after that, Adam, you go on a lovely hike.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Peaceful.
Yeah, it's a peaceful hike. This is all I know about Californians. It's not much. They eat quinoa.
Have smoothies.
They have smoothies. They do pull-ups and go on hikes.
I don't feel like you're far off the mark, though, right?
I don't think so either.
I love dabbling in stereotypes, Patrick.
Absolutely. And somewhere in there is the Vanderpump Rules restaurant.
Oh, you've lost me. Now I don't want to ride the Resistance anymore.
Lisa Vanderpump is actually replacing Kylo Ren.
Now, having never watched Vanderpump Rules.
You're missing out.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is the same kind of juvenile temperament applied to Lisa Vanderpump that it is to Kylo Ren? Does she have meltdowns, is what I'm asking.
Does she have meltdowns? It's Vanderpump Rules, Adam.
That means...
She's from the Real Housewives.
Oh, well, that does point me in the direction then of a meltdown.
There's a meltdown and a martini in your face.
Okay.
So it's a real 4D attraction.
I love that up until that point, though, it's been relatively healthy.
Yeah.
And then you just open your mouth and get a martini thrown in your face.
It's absolutely right.
At the end of it.
That's what happens at most experiences when you're with me. Someone gets a martini in the face, and it's usually me, Adam.
Which is surprising to me because you wasting alcohol.
No, I'm saying I get the martini in the face. I would never.
Oh, yeah.
I've thrown many martinis in my own face.
Yeah.
They've always landed right in my mouth. I'm good at that. I'm also beach, huh? This is a real disaster of a ride. You're welcome, California. That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See ya real soon.